What is going on, everybody? This is Dave and welcome back today to another Legend Manager experiment. Today, as you can see on the screen, we're going to be checking out Ledley King as Tottenham Hotspur manager. If you haven't checked out any of the other episodes, you can go and check those out as well. We've done United, Chelsea, Arsenal and some others as well. So check out the playlist or just click on the channel and see some videos below. Now, before we start off, if you do enjoy Football Manager 2017 content, you can go check out my channel. We're just about to start off the Season 6 of 8060 Munich save over in Germany. So if you enjoy that sort of stuff, go and check out that. But let's get on with the video. So, as you can see on screen now, I'm going to be typing in Ledley King's name, and we've got him set as manager of Tottenham Hotspur. And as you can see, he's probably got the strongest stats that we've seen so far on the series. King, young, still only 35 years of age, 21 appearances for England, 2 goals. His preferred formation is a 4-1-2-3, defensive midfielder wide, along the playing style, tactical coaching style, balanced playing mentality, and a closing down pressing style with a zonal marking system. Now his stats, 20 for man management, 16 tactical knowledge, 17 motivation, 18 and 17 for judging player ability and potential respectively. For a manager, his stats are absolutely perfect. 20 level of discipline, 16 determination as well. Got great attacking and defending attributes. I think he's really, really good. He's on quite a cheap contract though, which concerns me. What I do really is just I leave the contract money and see what the club offers him, and he's on quite a cheap contract, which isn't ideal. However, you know, we've got him as manager. You can see his career stats. He was unfortunately troubled by injury quite a lot, forced to retire after the 2011-2012 season. Never really, bar 1 or 2 years, had a full season in a Spurs shirt. But, you know, Deadly Ledley, as he used to be called by, I'm sure it was Martin Yola, heard him call him that one time. Yeah, so let's go on to Tottenham. What are they expecting this season? They're in the Champions League, of course. Got some great players. Generally, you know, the media predicting them to finish 6th. So if he can finish, I think if he finishes in a European spot, he's done a very, very good job on his first season as boss. As you can see on Legend, he's on there listed. Hopefully after this experiment, he will stay there. Hopefully we don't see another sacking after the one we saw in the last episode. But let's get forward the season. Let's review how Ledley King has got on as boss. So here we are at the end of the season. And now it's time to see if Ledley King is still in charge of Tottenham Hotspur, which he certainly is. Still in charge. His stats looked very much intact. Now let's go and check out Spurs. How did they get on this season? They finished in 6th in the Premier League. Right. So let's check it out. So they finished 6th, European football, and they pretty comfortably. In the end, they finished 2 points behind City, but they pretty comfortably finished in the top 6. Losing their last 3 games of the season. Top goal scorer Harry Kane. However, in the Champions League, they were knocked out in the group stage. They got into the Europa League, so they obviously finished 3rd in the Champions League group and were knocked out by Manchester United in the quarter-final. However, the Europa League was then won by Villarreal. Knocked out in the 6th round of the FA Cup by Chelsea, who were also the eventual winners. And Wolves went and beat them in the 4th round of the EFL Cup, which was won by Watford, the big mighty Wanderers. So, who did Ledley King bring in? So, he brought in 3 players, spending their total of £48 million. The only real out was Rio Griffiths. The rest were loans for the players such as Marcus Edwards, Kyle Walker-Peters, and so on. So, the 3 players he brought in, Ki-Sung Young, from Swansea, 11.5 million, possibly rising up to 15.25 million. Central midfielder, can play defensive midfield as well. Played 16 games for them overall, but only 7 in the league, 6 coming off the bench. Not a real starter for them, but I think he's a really good player to have. Touching, you know, coming towards 100 appearances for career, still at only 28 years of age. He's a solid Premier League player there. For a player of Tottenham standard, I'm not so sure. But, however, in the Europa League, played 2 games, had a fairly decent average rating, but never really got the games that he needed. They also brought in Matteo Guendouzi, who's slotted straight into the reserve side. Just at 18 years of age, he never made an appearance. But the big one that I see here, 13.5 million, Ruben Neves. And I've seen good things about him on this game, to be honest. However, if you look, he only started 5 Premier League games, coming off the bench in 23 games. Didn't start any in the FA Cup. He came off the bench once, didn't start any in Europe. He came off the bench twice in the Champions League and 5 times in the Europa League, which is surprising, really. I know he's still young, he's got a lot of talent there, but to spend that much on a player and for him not to get in your team. However, his average ratings weren't so great, if I'm honest. But yeah, that's unfortunate, really. He played in the World Cup European qualifying section, I'm guessing, for the Portuguese main team, which is crazy to think that he can't get into the side. So that was a fairly big signing for them. I'm going to check out the tactics as well before we go into the schedule. He was playing that 4-3-2-1 with a defensive midfield and 2 wide players. Nkudu playing. How many appearances did he have? He only played the 1 game, which was the last game of the season. Normally you don't see Nkudu play much at all. We'll go to the schedule though and see kind of where Ledley King went right and where he went wrong. So in the Premier League, started off pretty well, got 2 victories, a massive 4-1 victory against Man City. So the fans would have been happy with that. But look at that. Up till the end of November, they lost just 1 game, which was away at Southampton. Had a really good start. So that would have meant that, he was towards the top of the league. Probably may have even been top with that sort of form. However, he went on a horrendous run then, losing 5 on the bounce, only won 1 in 8, or 1 in 9 in fact, if you include this draw against Leicester as well. So not the best run. Really had a superb start to the season, but after that, never really got a good run going. Only, twice he won 3 in a row, and that was it. End of the season, 3 losses, 4 games there with dropped points. Should have probably beaten Palace, beaten Burnley, beaten Bournemouth, beaten Stoke. Could have easily finished in the top 4 if they didn't lose these games. So in the FA Cup they had a fair few replays though. Bolton even took them to a replay with a fairly strong team. He had some good players in there. Lloris played. Probably should have got a result there, but however they did end up going and beating them in the replay, which is fairly decent, but they did play a pretty strong side. Got Brighton in the next round again, another 1-1 draw, but then went and beat them in the replay. Again, QPR, another lower league side, drawing to Spurs. However, they did go and beat them in the replay, and then they were punished at White Hart Lane against Chelsea, 3-0. Michy Batshuayi, Willian and Cesc Fabregas scoring the goals. In the EFL Cup, they beat Midlands side Coventry 2-1, but then they went to the Molineux and lost after extra time. A goal from Joe Mason, 2 from Matt Doherty from defence, Musa Sissoko and Vincent Janssen scoring the goals. Champions League, they grouped with Leverkusen, Juventus and Victoria Plaza, quite 2 difficult teams in there. However, to finish 3rd and still win 3, still only lose 2 games must have been close. Juventus and Leverkusen must have really strong performances. So if you could quickly check out the group, we still got the final yet to play, but Group C, Spurs level on points with Leverkusen. Unfortunately, would have lost on a head-to-head rule, which is painful to see in the end. But they obviously dropped down into the Europa League on a fairly comfortable 5-0 aggregate victory against Mainz. Beat Besiktas and then unfortunately lost 1-0 to United in the end on aggregate. So that was their run in the competition. I think with another year, Ledley King could really do a decent job with this squad. And I think in the final episode that we're going to do, where we're going to chuck all the legends in, he could be one to really, really watch, especially with his stats. I actually did this experiment on Football Manager 2016 on my own channel. I think I went about 10 years into the future, and he was winning Champions Leagues with Spurs fairly comfortably as well. So, most appearances this season was Toby Alderweireld by a long shot, 57 appearances, so he almost played probably most of the games. Harry Kane just behind him, again with Hugo Lloris as well. Kane was top goal scorer with 26 goals, miles ahead of Christian Eriksen with just 11 goals. Most assists though was Christian Eriksen with 15, and then the best average rating was Toby Alderweireld. Playing 57 games and still getting a 7.6 average rating. Extremely strong by the defender. So King's still in charge, and no new contract as of yet, but we're going to check out overall how he got on. So he got 50% win percentage, not too bad at all. 30 games won, 12 drawn, 17 lost. And we're going to check out his achievements. So he got won 3 Manager of the Months, which is the most that we've seen so far. No surprise for September and October because he started off really, really well. So I'm going to quickly check where, they had a really strong start to the season. I'm going to check whereabouts they were in the season. Because they finished it, they must have been top for a while, surely. So they were throughout the whole of November, towards the end of their really strong run. And look at that, they were 5th for the whole of the season, and then when they lost the last game against Stoke, they dropped to 6th, which is really annoying. But they were kind of that team, a bit like United, really struggling just to rise from any sort of position. But yeah, he did really, really well in the end. I'm surprised he wasn't top for longer, especially with how good his run was going. There must have been another team that was, on really decent form. So Chelsea were there at points as well. United never really did too well during the season. Man City. So I wonder who was top for so long. It must have been, these sort of teams, Chelsea, Arsenal. I'm not too sure who was top in the end. Strange. We'll have to have a better look at that. But overall, Ledley King, not too bad. I'm going to chuck his stats up on screen now so you can see how he compares to the other managers in the series. If you want to drop that pause, do that so you can compare them. But if you have enjoyed today's video, make sure you smash that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you've got any more suggestions for Premier League legends back at their old clubs, for clubs that we yet haven't done, please let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure you go and check out my channel if you enjoy what you see over there. Make sure you drop that sub as well. And if you're in any need of tactics, guides or graphics for Football Manager 2017, go and check out fmscout.com. A link to that will be in the description down below. But until next time, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. And I'm sure I'll see you all very soon.